In this video, I need to figure out how in the world to frame out this bunk window. This is something that I've been confused about for months now, but I'm finally going to take on this task. This video marks day 7 of our DIY camper van build series, and I plan on finishing up all of our furring strips this video and mounting some solar panels on the roof. Alright, let's try and figure this out. Alright, so I already ran into my first issue that I have no idea how I'm going to solve. You can see that on this side of the window, the wall extends a bit further away from the window than this side. You can see it's pretty shallow. So that means that the left side of the wall is pushed further in, causing my window to not sit flat, but on a little angle like this. So if I were to make the box around the window, I would have to make the entire thing tapered, which sounds like a nightmare to get right. But even though it sounds like a nightmare, I think it is my only option. But I do have an idea on how to solve this problem or make it easier to solve. Alright, take a look at this tapered line. And we gotta cut this out. I think that is perfect. We nailed it. Alright, so I just made a duplicate for the top. They're gonna fit in something like this. But now we need to make the pieces that go along the sides. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell on camera, but this box is tapered in 2 directions. It's tapered lengthways, but it's also tapered along the side. And now we're going to see if it fits. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself for doing that. That is a pretty advanced box. Now I need to glue this onto the wall and add some furring strips onto the bottom of it and onto the top. To adhere this wood onto the metal, I went to Home Hardware and I asked the guy, what do you recommend is the best product to glue wood onto metal? And he gave me this stuff. So that's what I'm going to be using. And I am going to be generously coating this entire back plate because I don't want any movement of this. I don't want it to fall off in the future. take a look at what we made. I am super happy with this. I think it looks really good and it is super solid. It shakes the entire van when I do that. The adhesive is not the only thing that's holding this box into place. These furring strips are bent a little bit. They bend to the curvature of the van, and I put them in a way where they put pressure on the box onto the van. So I think even if I didn't have this adhesive, it would still be this strong. But I bet you can tell by looking out the window that it is dark now. I always work way too late. But now that we have this window all framed in, I want to mount some solar panels on the roof, but obviously I can't do that tonight. I do believe it is supposed to rain tomorrow, so it is a bit unfortunate. I'll have to wait like 2 days to be able to install the solar panels on the roof. But it'll give me time to ponder exactly how I'm going to do it, because the solar panels that I have are a lot shorter than the other solar panels that I put on my first van. And it was super easy to install the solar panels on my roof on my first van because I just laid them on top of some Unistrut, bolted them to the Unistrut, called it a day. But the solar panels that I have are not long enough to do the same thing, so I'm gonna have to figure out some other way to mount them on my roof. But I think we're done here for tonight and for a few days until it stops raining, so I'll see you guys on the solar panel install day. Welcome back. It's about 2 days later and the last day before it starts to rain for about a week straight. Today, we need to mount our solar panels on the roof. Earlier today, I spent some time bolting some Unistrut onto the roof of the van. I did this by punching out the holes that every Sprinter van has. I removed the excess material on the top with a chisel and put some Rust-Oleum on it. After I let that dry, I put butyl tape down and then put my Unistrut on top. Added a little bit of sealant, dropped my bolt in, and then tighten it from the bottom with a nut. And that is actually the exact same thing that I did for my first van. But this time I am adding an extra step, which you guys will see in just a minute here. But right now, we need to prepare our solar panels to be mounted on top of the roof. And by the way, these solar panels are not any ordinary solar panels. Renogy decided to send me out their Shadowflux solar panels, which means even with partial shading over the solar panel, they are going to perform way better than any other solar panel you find on the market. And you'll be able to find these solar panels linked in the comments down below or description. And if you're watching this in March, I think there's going to be a little spring discount for you. I'll make sure to put that coupon code down in the comments and description below once it is available. I want to say thank you to Renogy for sending me out 3 of these solar panels. Yeah, that's right, 3. Renogy has been coming in clutch with this van build. They are the MVP right now. So show them some love. Renogy, I appreciate you guys so much. But we need to mount these things before we run out of time. To mount these solar panels, I am going to use Renogy's solar mounting brackets. But I am going to be attaching these in a little bit of a weird way, which you will understand once we are up there mounting them. So let me show you how I'm going to do it. These brackets are normally attached like this, but I'm actually going to be flipping them upside down, just like that. And now to add to your confusion, I'm going to be mounting these brackets in this position on only this side of the panel, and on the other side of the panel, I'm going to be mounting it closer to the end. Take a bolt and washer, grab your mounting plate, slip it through, and then it's going to look like this from the bottom up. Our washer, spring washer, and then nut, just like that from the bottom up. All right, that is 1 solar panel done, but we got 2 left to do. So let's bang these out real quick. I really wanted to do this job in the day so you guys would have good lighting to watch me do it in. And if you're following along at home, it'd be a bit easier. But like I said, this is the last day before it starts raining for about a week. So it's either have not so great lighting or no video at all. But I brought all my stuff up onto the roof with me, and I'm finally going to finish these solar panels. Now, the way I plan on installing these solar panels is mounting some Unistrut crossways along the van. And the hardware that I'm using to attach the Unistrut onto the other Unistrut is a spring Unistrut nut and just a bolt and washer. There, that is on there, solid. To make our lives a little bit easier now, I'm actually going to snip the zip ties on these solar panels. And I'm also going to plug in this inline fuse to the positive wire of this solar panel. And this inline fuse is also from Renogy, by the way. And it's as easy as just pushing it in, just like that. And all right, you can finally see how we're going to be mounting these solar panels. This would also be a handy time to grab your branch connectors if you're connecting your solar panels in parallel. So I'm going to plug these in before I bolt everything down. And we will be securing these solar panels the same way we secured our Unistrut. Good rule of thumb in van life: if you secure something, give it a shake, and it shakes the entire van, you're probably good. Before we mount the second panel, grab your solar extension cables and plug them into the ends of your branch connectors. And put them off to the side. All right, you guys have seen me mount one panel. I'm just gonna whip the last two on real quick. Just remember to plug them in to your branch connector. All right, this has taken longer than expected, as like most of the jobs that I do. But there is one final thing we need to do before it rains. We need to run our solar panel cables down into our van. And we're gonna do that by using the Renogy entry housing thing. Solar entry gland, that's what it's called. The first thing I wanna do here is wipe down this surface, make sure it's nice and clean and free of any dew. I'm out here so late, the van is actually starting to condensate. So make sure the area where you're going to install this is nice and clean, ready for installation. If you look at this entry gland, normally you'd want it facing towards the front of the van like this, because the air is able to glide over it. But in my specific scenario, I'm going to be mounting it like this because there is already solar panels and stuff in front of it. I just think it'll look a lot cleaner with the wires going in like that. And speaking about the wires, I hope you marked down which one is positive and which one is negative, because I did not. I'm gonna have to get a multimeter and figure it out in the future, but that is a problem for future Nate. Just take both of your wires and push them into the entry gland like this and pull as much of the wire you can into it. Figure out where you want this gland to be, make a few very brief markings on it. Now that we have that roughly sketched out, we can choose a spot to drill our hole. Once you think you're ready, go at her. I plan on fitting both of the wires down the same hole using this rubber grommet on the inside so they don't get cut from vibrations from driving. And I'm going to be using a step drill bit to make this a larger hole. I still need to clean this up a little bit, but remember, anytime you cut holes in your van, you need to apply Rust-Oleum or some sort of rust paint to the bare metal. So I have just that, and I'm going to apply some now. Oh, and now we're going to have to wait until this dries to proceed. So I'll see you once it dries. Our paint has, for the most part, dried. I'm doing it a little bit earlier just because it's late.
I want to get off of this van, but we are super close. So let's just seal this up and we'll be good to go. So if you have a rubber grommet, which I really recommend you do, you can slip that into your hole now. And to seal this onto the van, I'm going to put a layer of butyl tape onto the bottom of this housing and then use some 291 Sikaflex. Okay, once you've got your butyl tape on there, you're ready to put your wires into the hole and push it on. Actually, there is one more thing I want to do before I push this into place. I'm going to put some of the sealant around and in this hole just to be extra safe. Okay, we're ready to stick it down now. And now seal around the edges of this housing. And then tighten these end pieces as well. This is what creates the watertight seal against the wire. Did I go overboard on the sealant? Yeah, I did. Will I ever regret it? No, it's never gonna leak, I hope. Hopefully I'm not jinxing that. Putting holes in your van is always the scariest part for me, so I always go above and beyond to make sure it does not leak. But now I am officially all done. Ooh, feels good.
Oh my gosh, that is such a relief to get done. You can see our wires here came through the roof and they are ready to get plugged into our electrical system, which you guys will see next video. I can't lie to you guys, I am insanely tired. I know I said I was gonna finish up the furring strips this video, but I don't see a world where I can do it tonight. The van is incredibly messy and my garage is a disaster. And guess what? I'm not even gonna clean any of it. I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. But I do need to close out this video. End of the day hand check. What do you guys think? I think this was a pretty pivotal day for my van build series. My Sprinter van is starting to look more and more like a camper van. Framing out the window in there was so nice to get done because I've been wondering how I was going to do that for months. Seriously, I had no idea how I was gonna do it, so I'm really happy to get that done. And I am incredibly happy on how these solar panels are mounted to the roof. I think it has such a sleek look while looking at it from the ground, and painting the Unistrut black was definitely an amazing choice. And remember, these solar panels are linked in the description down below or in the pinned comment. And look out for that discount code that's dropping in March. I will edit the description and the pinned comment as soon as it's available to you guys. Renogy, thank you so much for sending these out to me. I really don't know what I would have done without you guys. So if you have made it this far into my 27th video, I cannot thank you enough. And if you're enjoying the video and maybe want to watch the previous van build video, I'll put it on the screen right here for you. Consider hitting the subscribe button, maybe even like or comment. I would really appreciate it if you do. With all that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.